Good, man. Back at it again. Back at it again, man. Just up for the dickhead clown. Alpo D rider. I ain't never seen nobody like a man nuts that hard, man. That's wild, man. If Alpo was here, he could get Alpo. He'll give Alpo some of that butt. That's for real. He's one of them guys. I could tell. Cause I ain't never seen nobody that rides somebody, never seen this person. You just hearing he spoke on your little talk to you over the phone and you was mesmerized. He's infatuated just for the little phone call, quick little phone call Alpo gave him, man. That's kind of suspect, bro. That's kind of suspect. And you up here talking about stuff you don't have no clue about what you talking about, man. Nothing. You sad, but I get it. You making you a couple dollars from YouTube and Alpo Dave is so influential, but you ain't talking about that. And I don't understand what people be listening to you about, man. I don't understand it for the life of me because you ain't really talking about you gossiping and you acting like you really have good content. It's recycled, regurgitating the same old stuff, man. And you know, you picking and choosing there, you try to call somebody rats and all that. You the biggest rat lover, and you know who you are. Who hangs with you, man? You don't got no friends. It's impossible. I know you ain't got no friends, man. You a dusty dude, my dude. You over there doing too much talking that ain't about nothing. So, make sure when y'all come in, y'all subscribe. Hit that like button for me. Hit that like button, man, on the comment, man. We'll see what's up with this clown. So I'm gonna play some of this dumb stuff that this clown is going off of this book that's supposed to be a book from Rich Porter's baby mother. I guess he would have got some more sections of it. And you know, I'm gonna just give y'all the content of where he don't know what he's talking about, man. But I'm gonna let y'all hear him say the Dumbo stuff. All right, here go one of them. Let's go.
And mine marked up already. I'm gonna get the way it's set, man.
And I'm using this under fair use, but I don't want to show him. Y'all can just hear his voice because he's a real clown, dusty dude, man. There's people in his comments saying, yo, slow down, where you at? I'm gonna catch up to you. But somebody see him, boy. But anyway, we gonna hear this.
Billy, AZ needed a signature for the game over in order to use Richard's name, right? So
AZ needed a signature for the game over book to use Richard's name. She wrote in her book, the girl Angie wrote in her book that AZ needed a signature from her to use Richard Porter's name. Where that makes sense at?
she got together with him. This is after they slept together and everything. She
let y'all hear it.
And had a conversation. She said she had been reaching out to numerous people, AZ included, about giving Richard Porter's daughter a scholarship. That's all she wanted. They profited from paid in full, they profited from Richard's likeness, and this and that and the other. Blase split, she was just trying to get a scholarship. She even said she wrote Jay-Z and Beyonce to no avail. You know what I'm saying? So AZ comes over to drop the manuscript off, according to the book. And she pops off about this and that and the other. She also says, don't let this go over here, that AZ was trying to play Richard out in the Game Over book. He was trying to downplay his character, make him seem like some type of grimy dude that killed people. She also felt like he was snitching, if you ask me, because she said that it was not a matter of public record that Richard had shot or killed anybody. He was never arrested and convicted for any of that. And if he did do that, she didn't know. So for him to be putting out that type of information is kind of crazy. You feel me? But she didn't give him the signature. She didn't sign nothing because she didn't like the way the book looked. And when Rashana, which is Richard's daughter, asked AZ why.
And see right there, that's where if that is in her book where that's all wrong at. Once again, man, this book is so many loopholes in this book, man. How could she be the one to sign off on on Rich Porter stuff? She not married to Rich Porter. He's not married. And his wifey, that was his wifey, her name is Rhonda at that time. And they wasn't married. Only person that got the power to sign off anything for Rich Porter is Pat Porter. And I know this firsthand. Me and AZ was doing the Rich Porter story, so she gave Ada permission to do it. Not only that, after me and Roger Barnes was doing some work together, he set up a meeting for me to set up a meeting with Puff to do the Rich Porter story. So I sent Pat and AZ downtown to Bad Boy. I was supposed to go. I couldn't make it up there in time. So I sent Pat and set the meeting up for Pat and AZ to go down there to do the story. But they wanted to do they wanted to do a series, a Rich Porter series is what Puff wanted to do. And he met down there with Kenny Burns, which is Puff manager and all that. So for her to talk about signing off on for something for Rich to use the book, A don't need her to sign off on nothing. He got Pat Porter, his daughter's mother, and they still good friends. Good friends. They have no gripes or nothing with each other. Why would he need? That's another flaw in that book. And this clown up for debate, clown Sambo Bozo dude. You don't know what you're talking about, man. You was a silly clown, man. For real, you want Alpo to clap them cheeks, man. I already could tell, man. You in love with Cheek. You in love with Alpo, man. Yo, man. You need to put on a wig and a nice little skirt and a shirt and put Alpo on it, man. Have your shirt should say I belong to Alpo. That's what your shirt should say. With your wig on, boy, cause you's a clown. Somebody said, James said he talking facts. Poe got Stan killed, and that's a lie. So Alpo ain't getting no Stan killed. Don't know what you're talking about. I was gonna go ahead and put that one on too to let y'all hear that one. That's always a lie. Alpo ain't had no Stan killed, and if he did, he would have been spoke about it. That's why y'all ain't never hear him speak about it. He spoke about any one of them that he did, but he ain't having Stan killed. Just know that. That's a fact. So none of y'all know what y'all talking about. None of y'all. Y'all just be up here talking and going back and forth for a whole bunch of stupidity, man. Whole bunch of stupidity of a story that is so old, y'all still talking about it, and instead of utilizing it to paint a narrative for these young cats, you just jabbering, as if you are highlighting a star, a superstar, and then you want to say, okay, in the other one, he talking about how Rich, who was the flyest of them all out of both of them, who was the most influential of them all. Rich ain't here, and he's still influential and popping. Imagine if he lived his life longer. Alpo was out here living a long, long life, and Rich's name is still reigning supreme. You do the math. Rich was known to be fly all his life. Alpo was a dusty stick-up kid at one point in time, and he wasn't fly all his life. Rich was always fly from teenage. Do the math. Name ringing bells. Rich the one that had A look out for Alpo, so Rich is the one that created an Alpo. Don't get that twisted. Y'all is crazy up here thinking you know what you're talking about. But figure out what the facts is. That book is not legit. That book is not have no legitimate facts in that book, man. I mean, it might have some legitimate facts. I can't say everything in there is fake, but the most stuff that is put in there about AZ and the things that you think is what you want to call it um a reaction, shocking news. Those is not legit. It ain't nothing official about that. I'm sorry if that's what y'all thought, but that ain't it. Alpo didn't kill no Stan. That's a no-no. Period. Rich was always fly. Alpo, he come with his outfits here and there, but a jacket don't make you fly. It was just a jacket that Dapper Dan had made. Alpo got it, took pictures, and it was one of the best, but it ain't no. He wasn't, Rich was always that fly smooth, put the outfits together real cool, and he's very well known for that in Harlem. James said, AZ said it in his book, fam. Rich told Stan he was getting up with Poe at that time. Stan was up getting money with Rich. Stan was up getting money with Rich. AZ confirmed Stan was saying, we got to go get Poe outside Rich funeral. Facts. Man, man, you better go back and read again, bro. I don't have to read. I don't need to know. I was there, outside, around them. I was there when the whole incident was going on. When Darnell was kidnapped, everything. So you're not telling somebody that you watching this Up for Debate clown that don't even know how to get nowhere in a New York street. You talking to, I grew up in the same building, AZ. And he said AZ and Stan wasn't best friends. Alpo didn't kill no Stan. First of all, Alpo wasn't even going to come over to no 132nd. If Stan was killed on 132nd, Alpo's not coming over there in that building. Right there where Rich Porter family is at and all that. He wouldn't have never done none of that. That's Rich Porter block. So y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Period. That's what Stan was found on 132nd Street. And Alpo was not coming over there to do that. If he would have did something to Stan, it would have been somewhere else. Bottom line. And another thing, he talking about Stan is AZ and Stan wasn't tight like that. AZ and Stan started together when, A was doing his own movement in the cleaners, and Stan was always his best friend. AZ used to look out for Stan. Stan was his little homie. This before AZ was anybody, working in the cleaners, trying to figure out what's going on or what he gonna do as far as hustling. And Stan used to be coming in there with him, hanging out with him. That's his man. Stan met all these other movements and all that through AZ. Yeah, Up for Debate got that all the way wrong. And how I know, because I was hanging in the cleaners with a little young boy just hanging out in there trying to figure out how I could make some money, delivering the clothes and all that stuff. While the old timers come in there playing checkers and all that with them, they all used to come check them and Stan come over there and hang with them. That's the bottom line of that. Stan started hanging around Alpo later on throughout the years, which probably was one of the worst moves that he ever did in his life. Start getting cool, hanging around Alpo every day instead of going getting his own block, own spot, and do what he wanted to do. Instead of running around with that dude and got in the midst of a bunch of mischievous stuff, man. That's why Stan got kidnapped. If y'all go back into my early interview I did last year, episode, I told the story of how Stan got kidnapped because of Alpo. It's the one where I think the thumbnail said everybody wasn't scared of Alpo. It was some dudes looking for Alpo. It's one of those joints. And they couldn't find Poe, but Stan was with Alpo when they gave him that work. And Poe was hiding. And Stan ain't thinking nothing of it, but Poe ain't care. He just doing him. He wasn't getting no money out of that. He just was with Poe. And they didn't care. They seen him and they want him. And AZ had to go save him. And AZ spoke about it on the Say Cheese, but I spoke about it before A spoke about it. Actually, A was mad that I told the story and all that, as if I didn't know what I was talking about, but he knew I was talking about, and it is what it is. So none of y'all can't talk about nothing. Y'all be watching this Up Debate, man. Y'all need to check yourself watching a dumb fool that's not even from Harlem to try to tell y'all a story. And I don't care what kind of book he reading. That book that he reading off of right now is not official, and that's a fact. Ron Buggs, what up? Y'all sound stupid. Up for debate, you's a clown, boy. Where they find you at, man? I don't know who found you, man. I'm waiting for some people to say they even went to school with you, man. And see what kind of dude you was, man. You look like you used to get beat up a lot, man. For real. You one of them dudes. Because you ain't playing with a full deck. The 18th letter said, I gotta salute you, OG Bootsie. You survived some of the most dangerous times in Harlem. It's a lot of misinformation out here. That's a fact. I appreciate you too, homie. Like you said, you was there in the heart of it. And that's a fact, right in the middle. I knew Alpo when he had nothing, riding on that dusty old Suzuki, orange and gray joint, doing wheelies, coming by trying to impress A. We like, yo, who was that? A wasn't even there. We little young boys on the corner playing shooting ball. Dude keep coming up doing wheelies. He was nice on that bike. That's a fact. He was nice. Fly Guard Stunner said, what book? It's called Richard Porter and I, The Hand of Circumstance. It's by one of his daughter's brothers named Angie. She's acted as if she was the main girl, and she could sign off Rich name so AZ could use Rich name for the book, and that ain't even true. And that's in her book that the clown Up for Debate read off. No. And the real wifey name was Rhonda. But I'm waiting for him to read the part where the girl who wrote the book, Angie, her and her cousin was trying to jump Rich Porter in Rich house on 132nd Street. And my brother Jay Black was in there, and they tried to grab the gun. Her cousin tried to grab the gun, but the gun was on safety. Thank God my boy had it on safety. He speak about that all the time. Thank God he had it on safety because the cousin tried to pop, was going to pop Rich. But I'm waiting to hear her talk about that in the book, being that her and Rich was so cool. I ain't understanding none of this. Ron Book said, why you don't talk about the peeps in Detroit that he knows? And see, that's the thing. That's how you know he's a punk and a clown, because he ain't going to talk about nobody that probably can just hunt him down and be outside waiting for him. He got to go to the store in that dusty basement that he'd be in. Because Detroit dudes do not play. And that's a fact. And that's what he know. He ain't going to do that. So he got to do it somewhere hours away. Ain't nobody really going to pay him no attention, man. For real, for real. And I only just address him because you ain't going to mess this history up from where we come from. Just like homie just said, we went through the trenches. So we're not going to let you mishandle information. And when we trying to show these young cats what we was doing. So now they all over the place. They don't know who to believe because we got a mole like you in here talking about something you don't even know what you're talking about. And then you out here reading this book that has falsified information in it. For real. Fly Guard Stunner. Yeah, that's a fact. That basement dusty. And he in there keep talking every day about something from Harlem. Talk about he got something to talk about with me next. Please do, man. I'm waiting for you. Ain't. First of all, you don't know nobody in Harlem to tell you nothing. Cause I could tell that by all your information that you be talking and you just going off and keep regurgitating and sending this, playing the same old stuff, the Rich Porter stuff and all that. The same old Alpo stuff, I meant to say, excuse me. You ain't talking about nothing, man. Fly God Stunner said, they love us New Yorkers. Yeah, that's a fact. But you know, you can ask around about me, brother. My name is Excelente in them streets. Bottom line, stand up, however, whatever you want to go and find out. Keep on trying. But we know you don't know nobody. And that's why you keep talking, man. And I got to keep coming up here correcting you. And you reading off a book, being that she says she's the baby moms of Rich Porter, you thinking you got some concrete content. Nah, that content trash. That book ain't real. A lot of, well, I ain't going to say the book. She might got some stuff in there that's real, but the stuff that you reading off that's shocking information, that ain't real. Period. Period. So day one, and Rich got locked up. He got locked up, did his own bid, did his own time. Ain't got nothing to do with AZ, nothing. And whatever A mentioning in that book is just, it ain't got nothing to do with him saying nothing. But I ain't understanding how a dude like you is a real, one of the most influential snitches of our time. You up here talking about them all the time. One thing about people that's rat, you could be the flyest dude, you could be the best swag and all that. It doesn't matter. Once you rat on anybody, man, all that goes out the window, man. It's over. That's a wrap. So anybody that be around anybody that rat, that send people to jail because they ain't sent you to jail or your people to jail and all that, you know, that tells me what you would do if you get caught. That tells me that you had no morals. And we already know it's a bunch of people out here that hang with rats now. They don't care. This world will change that game. That's why the game is over. Can't hustle because you don't know who is who. And everybody that think they gonna play the game, they just say, F it, I'm a rock till I get caught. I'm a roll. Hey, if I get caught, then I'll just do what everybody else do. Come home and still be and have fun. And still be respected. But rest assured, a lot of other people wasn't playing that game. With Alpo, my nigga Mike Boogie, Poe tried to go up in his club, his party one day. Mike Boogie walked outside. Mike Boogie with the afro. Anybody know him from Harlem? Samuel, him and Samuel's like tight. Told him, yo, you can't come in here, bro. Ain't nothing happened to Mike. Told him Alpo couldn't come in the party, man. And it's just a fact, bro. That you loving a dude and y'all got these rumors about somebody was regulating and running through Harlem. You know who to regulate and run through Harlem with, bro. And yeah, Poe was nice with the hands. I seen him. I saved his life one day at the Apollo. He didn't see the guy behind him with the gun. I saved his life. Him and Wayne Perry, man. Knocked two dudes out of everything. Nice with the hands and all that. But you ain't never heard him tell the real stories of how he walked up and blasted somebody, man. You never heard those stories. You heard them all the time. The majority of stories about how he tell his man, give his man the nod, and his mans do it. So, man, and ain't nobody gonna be in New York beefing with nobody that will kill you and will tell at the same time. Excuse me, YouTube. unalive you, and like you don't get no props for that. Who's gonna be beefing with that? That don't even make sense. That'll make a person a stupid man for even beefing with him. See him speak, whatever, keep it moving, man. The 18 letter said, street knowledge. It's crazy how much New York has changed, because New York was very cutthroat in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. So many unimportant people trying to make a dollar of those times. That's a fact. It's done changed though. It's not us against the popo no more. It's us against us. We don't know who is who. Oh, you just saw Mike Boogie. Yeah, that's a fact. Shout out Mike Boogie. Ain't nothing happened to him. Fly Guard Stunner said, let's be real, Bootsie. Poe name got overhyped because of Paid in Full. Right, because the era that didn't know nothing about AZ, Alpo, Rich Porter, now they knew the story from the movie. And now this YouTubes and everything, social media is so big, now the younger version go and watch YouTube and they hear clowns like him with fake stories, but then they hear people like me and a few other people that was really there tell real stories. So now it's intriguing. It's like a movie. How we used to watch mobster movies. And we was in them streets for real too, but we was loving the mobster movies. How they move, how they strategically had people killed, how they was strategically getting money. We used to love all of that. And that's what the AZ Alpo era is. And that Paid in Full movie definitely took it over the top. And it's piggybacking off each other, why it's still relevant to this day. And why people still watch the movie. And the movie was perfectly done. When we was filming the movie, I didn't think that it was gonna be a lifetime classic the way it is right now. I just know we was filming the movie. After the movie come out, people watch it, and then we was on to the next. I didn't know it turned into like a cult following for Paid in Full. That's big. But that's a fact. That's what really oversaturated Poe name, but we gotta look at it. Rich is not even here, and his name hanging just as long as Poe's was hanging before Poe passed away. So that's a fact. Brother B said, I don't care. Why you up here for, bro? Do you even know what we talking about? This be the thing with people, man. They don't be chiming in, don't be knowing what they talking about. Fly Guard Stunner said Cam did a great job playing Rico, not playing Alpo. Yeah, he did an excellent job, man. He did a real good job. And as you know, Cam, he know he Mr. Petty in real life. You know what I'm saying? So that was easy for him to play that part. He did great, man. Man, the 18th letter, appreciate you. Super sticker, appreciate that, man. But yeah, man, Cam did a hell of a job, boy. So, a lot of this stuff this guy up for the dickhead be talking about, man, he don't know what he talking about. A lot of people that follow ignorance, I mean, that's what they really want to hear is ignorance, because nothing he be saying makes sense. He keeps saying the same old stories, but saying them in a different way. Speaking about AZ or Rich Porter, you don't even know these people, and you talk about it as if you know these people, man. That's very sickening, man. But you wouldn't, if he was looking like he was somewhere decent, then I'll be looking like, damn, man, he look like a decent brother. But being there where he be at in that basement and all that, I could tell he ain't playing with a full deck. He want Alpo to clap his cheeks, man. God bless him. That's crazy, boy. I ain't never seen nobody this crazy over a man, especially one that put other men in jail. That's deep to me, man. Fly God said the dude up for was hype. He had Poe number and whatever. Him and Poe talked about. Yeah, he was like a fan. He was over, like, man, that blew his mind. He turned to a groupie. He was ready to spread them cheeks for Poe and give him something. He's gonna give Poe some of that. 18 letter say you got to get some moderators. Yeah, that's a fact. I gotta definitely do that. Start getting these clowns up out of here, man. I'll be looking at something. I just be shaking my head. A lot of that stuff don't even affect me. I don't care about that. But I definitely need to do that. Facts. But yeah, I thought I'd come up here, y'all, and break it down about this dumb dude. But I gotta go check something out. I'm gonna come back in a minute, man. Y'all do your research. It was something with Cameron, like we was just saying, Mr. Petty, cause how Cam is. The way he just did Omar Gooden. I'm about to check something. It was a statement Omar said, and I want to go back and check it out. Then I'm gonna come back up here again because he's saying that whoever sent him over there to actually do, the audition or go and do the film for that character and set him up to pay is the one that plugged him with doing the movie that him and Cam actually did back in the day called Percentages. So I'm trying to figure, is he gonna be mad at homie or not? But I'm about to figure something out. I'm gonna see if I can call Omar, man. I had his number by other phone, but I'm gonna get his number, see if I can get him on the phone. I want to ask him some things, man, for real. Back in the day, 18 letters said back in the day, people didn't snitch. You would put your whole family lives in jeopardy. That's a fact. Can't do that no more because the telling done oversaturated. It's a fact. What you think about Cam had to say in that freestyle about the streets and dudes being rats? I don't know. I ain't really paid the part no attention when he was saying people was being rats. When he called a rat, is the one you talking about? Because the one who really told on them brothers was the dude Kevin. The one who told on was Kevin. Kevin told because A didn't know them two dudes from a can of paint. Kevin was the one working with A, bottling up at the crib, so he thought something was in there real serious. So he told them two niggas, two of the most dangerous dudes, not most, but they was dangerous. There's a lot of dangerous Bronx dudes, but they was one of two of many, and he gassed them up to go up in that house and do all of that. And then they told, but when he was on his, when they was pulling A out on the stretcher, he told his sister, because he didn't know if he was going to make it. He told his sister it was Kevin. The police didn't get there. They got to the hospital. He told his sister outside that it was Kevin, just in case. And she did. She let everybody know. Rich Porter knew. Alpo knew. Alpo actually seen Kevin. The next day, it was like, yo, A shot up, man. Yo, man, come to the block. But he already knew that Kevin did it. Tried to lure Kevin to the block. Yeah, come to the block. We about to suit up. But Kevin never came to the block. So, me, Rich Porter, my homeboy Keith Caesar, and one of our other homies, it was somebody else. We was in front of Kevin's house waiting. Alpo stayed in the car, kept riding to see if he could catch him going to the block. But he never went to the back to the block. And we sat outside of the house and we was waiting. Y'all already know what was gonna happen next if he would have came there. But one of my homies was like, yo, man, let's go up there, get his moms and all that. And Rich Porter was like, nah, we ain't doing that. That lady ain't got nothing to do with this. And people try to call Rich Porter a monster. And it's a fact. He was like, nah, we ain't doing that. And we waited around about another hour, some change. AZ called him and told him, and he told A where we was at. A was like, nah, man, nah, these police up here questioning me, leave from over there, don't do nothing. Because now they'll come back and get me. And that's what made Rich call it off. I didn't know that till A told me a few years ago. But I just thought Rich was like, man, we ain't waiting. We've been out there long enough. So we all left. I gave Rich back his toy, and my boy gave him back because Rich gave us the toys. You know what it is, so we see. And it was a wrap. And I went to the hospital to see A after he got out of surgery. The 18 letters say, I remember in Chicago, it was a situation with a big wig told he knew they figured he was telling. So he went into hiding. He didn't care about his family. Unfortunately, they found his brother. That's crazy. Yeah, that's how it happens back in the day, man. They can't get you, they go get somebody close to you, man. It's sad, but that was how that game was played. James J said, that's crazy. People really hate Alpo and don't know him. First of all, he snuck and killed a lot of people. You don't need to know nobody to hate somebody when they did somebody in your family dirty. Second of all, he already said he regret killing his best, unaliving, excuse me, YouTube, unaliving his best friend or his brother, Rich Porter. So who you think gonna be liking him when Rich was very well loved? You don't even make sense, bro. And then not only that, he done told on many people that did dirt for him. He told on them after they the one did the dirt for him. What make you think them people gonna like him or they family gonna like him? And now he ducked and then get to come home and they get to stay in jail. Other people is dead up because of little simple stuff. Nah, that ain't the streets, bro. That's just grimy. That ain't how the streets go. The streets ain't made to be grimy, but it is grimy people in it. But when you acting like you getting money and you this dude getting money and then you do grimy stuff on top of it, it's the same way as being a gangster, have people unalive and then you still go and tell on people. You ain't a good person at all neither. Even a stick-up dude is good people. They might stick people up, but they don't kill them. But hey, they robbing. That's their job. We know to watch him. They ain't tricking you. You know what it is when you see Mo or Joe when they come through the hood. But when you do it and act like you somebody's friend, that's devilish. And then you turn it into like you a serial killer, bro. That ain't cool. Who would want to be cool with a person like that? If you did that to your man after you say you wish you didn't do that to him, why would I hang with you? And then I might don't come somewhere you wanted me to come to, or you might thought I did something wrong and I was somewhere just minding my business. And now when I come meet with you, now you unalive me. And you turn back into who you was. So that's crazy. Said Rich killed his brother, and his own man. Get the story right, bro. You know that person everybody talking about, nigga kept doing over and over bad stuff, stealing, robbing, breaking into the little crib. Rich took care of that boy, kept giving him stuff, giving him clothes, make sure he had somewhere for him to stay, and he still kept doing foul stuff and foul stuff and foul stuff. Do your math. Everybody just talking that talk, and see that's the stuff that Poe probably whispered out there. Somebody that loved Poe whispered that out there as if that happened like that. Negative. Rich wasn't that type of dude. Shirt off your back, he ain't thinking about hurting nobody, man. You gotta do something to him, man. And that's how that goes, and that's a fact. He ain't never unalived people for nothing. And I ain't said he unalived him. I'm just saying that's the rumor that's out, but I know he looked out for that boy several times. So I don't know how it went. But I know he ain't do nothing to nobody. And if he ever did do something to somebody, they must have deserved it. The 18 letter said, people don't hate Alpo. People hate what he did. Exactly. I say a lot when people from Harlem and DC who have no connection to each other once Alpo deleted. It's James J. Man, you are up for debate. You might be him. My point exactly. You can't separate two niggas, make excuses for who they want. See, you don't understand real. I don't know. You might be one of them dudes. It ain't the streets. I just told you what it is. If somebody do something wrong to you, then that's the streets. You get dealt with. You don't sneak people and unalive them. So that's the difference between Alpo and Rich Porter. He wasn't running around mischievous and knocking people off and inserting himself in with the people he's selling to, and as soon as he think they did something wrong to him, he unalive them. Rich Porter ain't never did that, brother. And them stories you heard is wrong, and I'm here to tell you that. Period. So now, once again, you're wrong. They ain't the same type. And that word, the streets is just a saying. It don't matter about the streets. You still better play the street game the correct way, because that's what get rid of people like that. Hey, you do the math, brother. When you're a foul dude, you ain't gonna be around long, man. It's just a matter of time, man. Period. Unless somebody sneak you that you thought was your friend. But they's grimy because it's about some money. All it was all about sneaking somebody for money. Rich ain't never had to rob nobody. He had plenty of that work around, making moves and all that. He was hitting everybody with the work. Rich was the man. So Alpo was not on his level. He was not compared to him. He was giving Rich was giving Alpo work to go out of town and make moves and get money and bring that bread back. So all these misconstrued stories like they was equal, they wasn't no equal, man. But they was their own men. But Rich was the man that was getting them, not Poe. Poe probably was getting them from other people too here and there, and could have. I'm just telling you how I go from with their connection. Period. The 18 letter said, I could tell just by the way James is talking, he wouldn't last long out there. That's a fact. Because he's not thinking logically, and I'm breaking it down to him. The difference in Rich and Poe is a big difference. You can't be out there moving around acting like you cool and then you having people unalive. That catches up with you later, man. It catch up with you later. And that narrative Poe put out there about Rich didn't tell him he got some work from the connect and all that. Only time Rich would mess with another connect, that means Fritz ain't had nothing. And he might go somewhere else, but they wasn't no partners and all that. And why wouldn't a man tell you, if me and you getting work from somebody, and I know that you might go and holler at him, but he done told me I got the work. I mean, me and you get work from this particular person, and now you ask me what's going on or what happened. Or in my mind, anyway, I know you might go holler at him later and he gonna tell you I got the work. So that'll be a stupid lie to try to lie. Only way that lie would work if Rich told the connect, don't tell him you gave me nothing. That's the only way that would have worked. So if Rich ain't tell the connect that, it's common sense, man. If he ain't tell the connect Don't tell him that you gave him nothing. Why would he lie? Knowing that there's a panel or door open where Alpo could easily find out, bro. That story never made sense. Not only that, in the movie, not in that, in these little blogs circulating everywhere. Eastside Chemo, what up? Peace, my G. In these documentaries and stuff like that, and you know, it's known that when Fritz gave Rich the work, he gave the work to Alpo. So once Alpo had the work, why he gonna wait till now to try to act like he was mad about something or come up with that dumb story? What could he be mad about? He never still said where that money was for them birds, that he was supposed to go and get the money and come back so he could get Rich brother. He never talked about that, but he talked about everything else. Where that money at? He never said Rich never gave him no birds. But now all of a sudden, he did that because Rich did something to him. But still, where's that money at, though? Stop it, man. So, you know, Eastside, what up? You know, it's one of the dudes in the comments had to give him a little lesson, man. He'll be out here in them streets and get himself hurt, man. 18 Letter said, when I listened to what Alpo said about Rich lying to him, I could tell it was a lie. Alpo was just looking for a reason to snake Rich over the work, and he knew Rich was looking for Darnell at that time. Well, he told that lie so people will accept him when he come back to the streets. It wasn't looking for a reason to snake him. He was looking to be accepted, and so people could be like, oh, okay, that's why he did that. So Rich did some foul stuff to him. All right, well, we can't always be feeling that Rich was a goody-goody. So that's how all these other little fake rumors try to go around like Rich was grimy too and had people touched up. And that ain't never, no. Rich was never on that. Rich ain't even like the club. He used to go in the house at 8 o'clock every night, leave from the block and go to Jersey with Rhonda. I'm waiting to hear in the book about the house in Jersey with Angie, in the girl Angie book. I'm waiting to hear some of that. I'm waiting to hear that. But that was him just wanting to, you know, make people say, man, listen, man, damn, I ain't know Rich did that. But it don't add up. Everybody know that Rich gave him the work. And not only that, if he said he felt bad about killing his brother, he like basically he wish he never did it. That's the worst thing that he ever regret, killing his brother, Rich Porter. Or unaliving his brother, excuse me, you two. But he knew that means Darnell was like a nephew to you. And you knew Darnell was in despair at this time with them people. And your mission was to go get the money to give to them. So why would you do that? Now you got both of them out of here after you know you was going to do that. No, it was because he didn't have no bread like people thought he did. And his thing was, man, I do this to him. They going to think the kidnappers did it. I get to keep all that bread. Ain't nobody gave me nothing. That's how that thought process was. It's just common sense. Another common sense thing is, why would you unalive somebody that you care about, and even brothers get mad and beef over money and don't speak and all that? Why would you just unalive him? You just all because he didn't tell you that he got the work from old buddy? When you could say, yo, old buddy told me he gave you so-and-so, man. I know I'm getting my cut. And even Rich gonna say, oh, yeah, I got it. Or he gonna say, nah, man, he ain't tell me to give you nothing out of this one. Then he gotta go back to old buddy. Poe had to go back to old buddy, say, you said don't give him nothing to me. And another thing, scenario is how he know that the connect wasn't lying that he gave Rich something for him. Why he just ain't straight up say, yo, the nigga told me he gave it to you? Why would he keep just saying you're rich? You know, you think you got something to tell me, or whatever he was saying, he was asking him, or whatever happened, with that work, yo. And then he said, I gave him one more chance to tell me, man, and he wasn't honest with me. How you know that was on that man mental? How you know that connect wasn't lying about something? And how you know basically that Rich really didn't know what you kept asking him that question for? It might have been something like went over his head. And you just unalive him, don't make sense, brother. And that's why he just, he wanted to be accepted again, man. That's all that was, man. That's all that was. So, this story gonna go on and on for 100 years because people always gonna have their own dictation about it because people like this up for debate clown keep talking about stuff and talk about, but I'm up for it. I'm one that's still here, been there from day one. Day one, I knew Rich Porter when he was packing bags, riding on the dirt bikes, him and Elton and all them niggas, his partners. Clyde, God bless him. I know all, like, AZ when he was nothing, working in the cleaners. Alpo coming around on the dirty, dusty motorcycle. But one thing about Pay the Fool was a bunch of other people in Harlem getting money, probably more than Alpo. It was other dudes that was on that status. It just, A told his story. It told at the right time would turn into a classic. That's all that is. But I don't got nothing against Alpo. It is what it is. If a man want to be a tell and tell all people, that's what it is. But, if it affect my people, then that's a problem. It's a problem if it affect my people, man. And ain't nobody thinking about beefing with nobody. You don't have to never beef with nobody in these mean streets when somebody that tells on somebody, man. Only thing you do is just now you just kill niggas with kindness, man. Ain't no everybody telling you can't do nothing out here. Hey, what up? Keep it moving. The man comfortable in their own skin. They gotta live with what they did and who they told on. They once was this cool dude, accepted out there, loved by many. And now all that coolness go out the window because everybody calling you a rat or whatever. You gotta deal with that. I ain't gotta deal with that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody's doing none of that. So, real tough guys, if they really tough and really all about that, like have a lot of the majority of people that will rat, them be the tough guys, and they don't care. They go wherever they want to go to. In the hood, who gonna play with me? Because they know that people knowing that they still tough at the end of the day. They still ain't nothing to play with at the end of the day. But another guy that's tough just like him, not even gonna get involved with him because he already know he's tough and he'll tell something. So why would I get involved with him? Nah, that don't even add up magically. No type of math on that. So hey, enjoy running the mean streets and doing whatever you do. But one thing for certain, streets always catch up with you, man. One way or the other. Ain't no way around it. So you could be tough all you want. But that don't make nobody scared of you, man. Nobody don't care about no being scared of nobody. It's too many tough, real, nothing to play with guys in Harlem. No, dudes is smart, and they very smart, and they smarten up knowing what they getting out of doing that. And then half the people is living their lives now and chilling. They ain't think about none of that world no more. That world ain't about nothing, man. That's why we preach this stuff for these young cats to know it, and then they can understand, oh, wow, they really went through it. Yeah, so you can listen, fall back, because there's too many tricks out there and trickery, and people will trick you off your square, either send you to jail or trick you just to get some money so they could go to the clubs and spend the money up that they rob people for, buy jewelry, buy a car that they ain't even paid for. Should I say, rent or lease a car or finance it, and it ain't even paid for after they done robbed or took somebody's life for the money, and now they riding around looking good. When the money run out, all of that is done for nothing. They might get caught in the case. The police might catch up with them months later and figure out what they did. Now they going to jail. The lawyer gonna be an arm and a leg. The bail gonna be an arm and a leg. They ain't got no money. That's called a tragic, toxic life of a street nigga. That's how it all starts. And that's how a lot of these young dudes is out here running around, man, like a chicken with their head cut off. Wake up every day, waking up just to die or go to jail. And hopefully they do make it back home to go to bed and do it all over again the next day, waking up. Because they worry about the ops, or worry about where their ops is going to be at, or worry about the ops coming to get them, whatever you want to call it. It's all stupidity, man. And people be online chit-chatting about fake stuff and changing the narrative of real reality, real history. And these are only reasons why a lot of them have to get checked sometime. And some of the time you don't even gotta say nothing, but people putting out books with false stuff in it ain't good. That ain't good, man. Especially when people around that was really there. You can't do that, man. But yeah, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Appreciate all my knowledgeable people out there, man. I'll be back. I gotta get this Omar Gooden info with Cameron, see what's going on, man. It's still a lot of tension in the air. I just want to know. I gotta find out one thing, man, and I'll be back. I'll holler at y'all later, man. Your boy Big Bootsie. See y'all later.